What's up guys, Duarte here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and today we are going to take a look at another matchup in war, A.I.M.Tron attacking against the Asgardians. And many people in my other video said, oh, you are just doing punch acrosses and so on. So today we are going to do one match of 110,000 punch up. Yeah, pretty good punch up. Then we have another one of 90k and another one of 60k. So yeah, those are definitely decent punch ups against the Asgardians. We are going through the characters I use, the T4s I have on that team. Then we'll take a look at the positioning I use, and then we'll watch a few matches and see how I use it. Not all matches are the same because I was trying different things, but I have an idea what works most of the times. So yeah, let's get started. So A.I.M.Tron, as the name says, we are going to use Ultron, and I have most of the T4s on Ultron, but the ones you need are going to be the summon, the special. Then of course the ultimate is always good, and the basic is also good as well. The only one that is a little bit iffy is the passive, because most of the times you don't get more than 4 buffs. So it's like irrelevant, but the other ones are, especially the summoning one is essential for this fight to work out, and the other ones are just a little bit extra damage that Ultron is going to give. Now in terms of the AIM characters, the characters I like to use, of course Scientist Supreme is a must. You also need Graviton, otherwise this team is not going to work. I mean, it can work, but it's easier with Graviton because he applies Disrupt. Then you are going to need AIM Security, because she is going to tank most of the damage against the Asgardians. And then I use the Assaulter because I like the extra speed that he gives. He's going to give extra speed to Graviton and Scientist Supreme, and at the end of the day that makes a huge difference. Now he can work a little bit better if you have his passive on T4. Instead of 10%, it's going to be 20%, so that's a huge difference. But you can still do it without the T4s. On this guy, on this girl, no T4s, so that's fine. On Graviton, no T4s as well. You can do the other, you can do like the basic, special, and ultimate if you want, but it's just going to be a little bit more damage. Never do the special, the passive. The passive is completely useless. And then on Scientist Supreme we have the special and nothing else. You could make an argument for the ultimate, but not really. Just for this case, I mean, it's not really worth it. Outside of Alliance Wars it's very unnecessary, so yeah. Special on Scientist Supreme, and maybe if you want the passive on Assaulter, and that's it. That's the team I like to use. Now you can use the AIM team by itself against the Asgardians. You cannot do punch-ups like this of 90k or 100k or anything. You can still beat them, but you need to be, in terms of gear, on the same level as the Asgardians. But because these characters are minions, most of them, most people don't invest so much into this team, even that it can provide some good results. Now in terms of positioning, this is the best position you can use for this team. You have Assaulter giving speed for Graviton and for Scientist Supreme, and you want that because the more often Scientist Supreme goes, the more often she will be able to revive someone and also apply debuffs to the Asgardians. And the Graviton, because you'll get his cooldowns faster, and that will mean more stuns, more bleeds, more slows, and things like that, that you need to defeat these guys more easily. Security, AIM Security, you want her to be somewhere adjacent to Scientist Supreme, so she always heals Scientist Supreme, because she is the key of this team and you don't want her to die, so the more heals she has, the better. Now this team works so well because 3 of them are villain tech, and because of Ultron, all the buffs they have, they will be refreshed and extended, and that's going to be huge because many times you'll have the security with tons of buffs on top of her, and Assaulter as well. He'll do significant more damage because of that, and Scientist Supreme, of course, the more buffs she has, the better, because you really don't want her to die. She and Ultron are mostly the team Graviton helps a lot with these disrupts and so on, but yeah, these two in the middle are like the best ones, and that's why the team works. So yeah, this is the positioning. I like to use this team, and now let's take a look at the team in action. Okay, so for the first match, it's gonna be a 90+K punch up. We start with defense down, and this is because of the room we are in. But that is going to work in advantage for us because we're going to flip that right away into defense up. So you might consider which room you want to attack with this team. On this one specifically, it's very, very good for us to start with that early defense up on all characters. So yeah, we flip that. It's extended because of Scientist Supreme. It extends on the AIM allies. Then the focus, like you will always have to kill Sif because she's going to be on your face most of the times. Then you have to see if you want to focus on Hela or Thor. It's important to kill Thor early in case your team takes too much damage early on. And then Hela because you don't want her to spawn way too many Gregs. But this is something, it's up to you, because if you do a single target to your enemies, that's going to be fine, all the Gregs on the field, but it's up to you if you want to use the special from Graviton or not, because in the end Ultron only does single target damage. Another target that you want to consider is Loki, but that depends on if you can expose him to some big damage. Otherwise just ignore him and just focus on Graviton applying those disrupts on the enemies. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what I did. Okay, so I tried to stun but resisted. Once again, this is 90k punch up. So yeah, the abilities will not always work. Like I said, we have Sif in the middle. We have to take her off, but because she went under 50%, we were able to remove the taunt, and that will allow us to focus on more important characters like Thor and Hela. Because the Greg is on the other side, we were able to use the special from Graviton. Unfortunately, the disrupts are not coming, and you need them as fast as possible, or at least before Loki does his special or ultimate that hides everyone. It's the ultimate. So that's something you have to consider. So Thor is gone, he has a disrupt, he has multiple bleeds, and from that moment forward it's way easier, but it's still dangerous because you still have a big Hela, you still have the other guys that do a decent amount of damage, but for the most part it's fine. Now see if she has a disrupt, we flip the debuffs into buffs for us, some more minions, and that's pretty much one. As soon as you have the Ultron train going, and as long as Graviton is alive, then you just have to kill one by one. And yeah, like something you should avoid doing, and I just did, is to slow Hela. You want her to go out of the stealth as fast as possible, because you will not be able to do enough damage to her to apply the disrupt while she's stealthed. So that's something you have to consider. And for example, if Sif has taunt and counter, try to use one of the red bots from Ultron to attack, to remove those counters, so you kill one of the bots from your own team, but then the next summon you'll be able to get 2 greens instead of only 1, and more healing and debuffing is always important. So we finally remove Ella. Now we apply the disrupt to her. We need to get her under 75% damage, and then it's over. We stun on that guy, but at this point it's pretty much win, so we just have to move on with the fight. Flip a little bit more. We have all the characters up, all the AIM, and most of the bots. We don't have any green active, but right now we don't really need it, so we just have to clear up the Gregs, and we are done here. So this one was okay, 90k punch up, but we took most of the time. We had a little bit problems there with the disrupts. It took a little bit to apply them, but yeah, in the end we had a good result. As you saw, the team is mostly gear tier 13, so it was all of them, and A.I.M.Tron at the T4. So yeah, that was pretty good. Now on our second match we have a big Ella, gear tier 14. The other ones are not so big like we saw before, and this is a 60k punch up. So supposedly it's going to be easier, but Hela at gear tier 14 does so much damage that sometimes it's a little bit scary. But we are going to use the same strategy, but this time, because the room didn't give us defense down, we are just going to use the ultimate from Scientist Supreme. And yeah, so let's see. Sometimes I try to stun different characters. The best result I have had is to stun the Hela first, so she doesn't do her ultimate right away and we have time to flip the buffs. But you can also stun Loki. You just have to remember that Loki gives extra resistance to Hela as well, so you might fail a little bit. It really depends on how strong your Graviton is, and if you want to use this team often, maybe you should invest a little bit more in him compared to the other ones. So let's see. Okay, stun there, but she blocked it, and look at that damage she gave me. She killed almost everyone, but once again, this is a 60k punch up and she was gear tier 14. So yeah, we have everyone with slow. It's very, very dangerous, this situation, but we are going to recover from it. And once again, we have Sif. She has defense down, so she melts like butter, so that's not bad. We want to get rid of her as fast as possible and then focus on Thor. Now Greg is right there on the side, so we don't use the special from Graviton, and that was the problem because we were not able to kill her. And then Thor smacked our face with the passive. That's fine, we managed to survive Graviton. It's just only by a thread, but we are still going to do it. Now, as you saw, we have 2 green bots, so that's a lot more healing for everyone, and it makes the fights way easier. So you have to be careful and use those counters in your advantage. There I killed the Greg just to extend the buffs with the Ultron. Thor has the Disrupt, so now it's pretty much game over for them. So yeah, it's very, very worth it to invest in Graviton in case you want to use this team as a main counter against the Asgardians. And I think you should use it. It's a very reliable counter. I never lose it with it. Maybe when I have like when I'm trying to do funny stuff, doing punch ups of 150k and so on, but yeah, that doesn't happen every day, so most of the times you win. Okay, so now we have to focus on those Gregs because we have nothing else to focus on, and that's the problem when you slow Hela, like I said before. You should try to avoid that. If you can, you apply heal block to her, but in this case we don't have that tool, but it works with other teams that we'll be taking a look in the future. So now she has Disrupt. Now we just turn Rewinder and she's gone, and the fight is way easier after that. Thor is out of the way, Sif is out of the way, Hela is out of the way, so we just have to clean out the trash. And that's what we do. So Heimdall is gone, and now Loki, he has nothing left, and we just destroy him. Easy mode, 60k punch up, and now we are going to take a look at the next fight where we do 110k punch up. Okay, so as you can see, we have 110k punch up. We have 2 Asgardians at gear tier 14. Sif is at gear tier 12, and Heimdall and Loki, they are only at gear tier 11. Still, once again, 110,000 punch up. They still have the medbay and the hangar. We only have the hangar left. So yeah, let's take a look into it. That Thor was pretty big, and the Hela was as big as the other one, so we can expect some huge damage. And yeah, it's going to be very dangerous in terms of the passive from Thor. But yeah, we still do it as long as Graviton is alive. That's good. But we were lucky here, and we were able to land that stun on Hela, and that made a huge difference. Now, as you can see here, they don't have the T4 on Heimdall passive because they don't have all defense up, only 3 of the characters. And that was not a huge deal because Hela has the defense up, but because we apply the defense down, that balanced things out a little bit. So yeah. So you want to focus on Thor so he doesn't get way too many charges. Then you try to apply the stun on Hela, hopefully it works. And then you can focus on getting Sif out of the way. And then you focus on Thor and Hela, and that's pretty much it. So as you can see, that huge damage from Thor, he destroyed everyone. Graviton barely survived. So A.I.M. Assaulter is down. We don't have anything to flip, but that's fine. Sif is gone, and Hela, she still didn't use her ultimate, so that's something you have to consider. Turn rewind Thor. Now he's already under disrupt. We can summon more minions because the A.I.M. Assaulter died. And now he is gone. He doesn't even use his passive because we kill him so fast. So yeah, it's really important that you can stun Hela early on. And because now everyone has such a good health, it's not going to be a big deal when she does her ultimate. As you can see, like, it still did insane amount of damage. I have no idea where she get all those bleeds, but damn boy, look at that. Let's just look back a little bit. From where did she flip the bleeds? Like, I don't see it. Oh, okay, so so the security made a problem there. Okay, that was really dangerous, but yeah, we managed to survive. So we focus on her once again. Because no one has heal block, we can heal with Scientist Supreme. We are still taking huge amount of damage. Now she flips everything into regens, so yeah, that's great. And that's why even that A.I.M. security sometimes is a liability. And then Scientist Supreme makes everything better with flipping everything into positive effects. So because Heimdall is left alone, we don't need even to summon warbots. We just have to clean the trash out of the way with all these Gregs and Heimdall and finish the match. So yeah, that was 110k punch up, and I hope it shows you how good this team is. Once again, you can use the normal A.I.M. team, but it's gonna probably work for punch acrosses, and it requires a huge amount of investment. My team, as you guys saw, they were mostly gear tier 10 and around that, except Scientist Supreme, that she's a little bit higher. But if your Scientist Supreme is not that high, you might compensate by applying the T4 on her ultimate. That will give her more focus to apply those debuffs. So just to recap, use Ultron. Then you want to have A.I.M. security, then of course Scientist Supreme, A.I.M. Assaulter, and Graviton. If you don't have Scientist Supreme at Gear Tier 14, you might consider using the T4 on her ultimate. You don't need Gear Tier 14 for Ultron, it will work fine on Gear Tier 13. And the other ones, I mean, the higher the better, but as you can see, even at 11 and 10, it's going to be fine. It's just they are just a little bit squishy because they don't have too much HP. So yeah guys, that's gonna be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, you know what to do. Smash that like button like a boss. Tell me in the comments below, have you used this team before? Do you use a different setup? Do you use this positioning or not? Like, I honestly prefer this position. I think it's the one that makes the most sense, because especially the Assaulter giving a speed up to Scientist Supreme and Graviton, the faster they go, the more debuffs you are going to apply to your enemies, the more often you will have stuns and all those things. And then A.I.M. security just for the heals with her ultimate or special or whatever on Scientist Supreme to guarantee that she doesn't die. And the splash damage that might happen is like whatever, and because Ultron can revive, it's fine that he gets some splash damage in his face. But if you guys use any kind of different setups as equally successful, let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did and you found this video helpful, make sure you share with everyone from your alliances, from your Facebook groups and so on. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.